Julia Fox is out here exposing Kanye West, and she's breaking the internet. In today's weekly respill, we're going to be discussing how Julia Fox dealt with Kanye and his issues while they were together. We'll also be exposing all the tea spilt in Shane and Jeffrey's latest 3-part documentary series. And Taylor Swift has responded to the Ticketmaster fiasco. So buckle your seatbelts and get ready. Julia Fox recently spoke about dating Kanye and what it was like. She was initially only going to expose the truth about dating him in a tell-all book that she was going to write, but she decided after reading a hateful comment she would just expose everything now on TikTok. Basically, she said she briefly dated Kanye West so that he would leave Kim Kardashian alone.
I remember just being like, he was texting me, I wasn't really answering. I was like, I don't really want to talk up with a celebrity again. If nothing, you know what I mean? Nothing ever comes of it. It's they're kind of boring. They're not what you think they're going to be like. But he kept going and going, and he was like, you have bad text etiquette. And then I was like, oh my God, Kanye's yelling at me. What do I do? But then I had this thought, and I was like, oh my God, maybe I can get him off Kim's case. Maybe I can distract him, just get him to like me. And I knew, I was like, if anyone can do it, it's me, because when I set my mind to something, I do it.
She also went on to say while her and Kanye were together, she discussed their ideas for childhood, education, clothes, and plans for the future. She said that she was delusional at the thought that she could help him. Obviously, people went off and this TikTok started going viral because, as we all know, Kanye is going through it at the moment. He's lost multi-million-dollar deals and he's no longer a billionaire. He's being super controversial. Fans commented, the irony of another person getting mad at you for dating a misogynist instead of getting mad at the misogynist. She'd even responded to this person who'd said, no one is saying you should have done something. He was terrible even before you started dating him, and that's what people are criticizing you for. Julia replied, okay, but then why not criticize Kim for staying married and popping out more babies after he did all that? See how misogyny doesn't make sense? Julia then had to make another TikTok exposing all the misogynistic people in her comments.
The funniest thing about this whole thing is that if women really didn't date men that upheld patriarchal values or didn't date men that were misogynistic or had problematic views or did problematic things in the past or had said problematic things in the past, there would be no men left to date, sweetheart. So don't get mad at me for doing what men trained me to do, which is to overlook the bad stuff and focus on the good. And believe it or not, there are a lot of really good things about Kanye West. And if you don't think so, you're probably racist. And I say that while also acknowledging that the things that he has done and said are really, really messed up. But I can't point the finger at him and say that he's the reason that our world is so f***ed up, because that's white people.
So, Shane and Jeffrey's latest 3-part documentary series has taken the internet by storm, but not everybody has the time to watch all 3, nor do many of their former fans want to watch their new content. So I'm here today to break down all 3 of their latest videos, and warning, it's intense. So I briefly touched on the first video of this series in a prior video of mine, but to briefly recap that, basically what happened was Shane called Jeffrey and said he wanted to talk about the appellate that never got released. He'd also talked about what life was like after getting cancelled. Then part 2 of the documentary was titled The New World of Jeffree Star. Shane admitted that whenever him and Jeffrey get together, drama always happens, but they've been drama-free for the last 2.5 years. In this episode, we see Shane getting ready to go and visit Jeffrey on his ranch. So this episode was literally just Shane and Ryland flying to visit Jeffrey and reconnecting with him pretty much. We got a tour of Jeffrey's new mansion in Wyoming and what life is like for him there. Jeffrey has released 10 palettes since the launch of the Conspiracy palette. He's also opened multiple different businesses outside of makeup. They then discussed what their second palette would look like, and boy did this cause a stir online. Jeffrey said at the end of the episode that no one cares about YouTube anymore, no one clicks as much, and he's literally changed his life around and loves leading the quiet life out in Wyoming. In the final episode of the series titled The End of Jeffree Star and Shane Dawson, it started off with Shane saying that he was sad that Jeffrey hates YouTube so much now. He'd stated that TikTok was where it's at now, and he said that Reels and TikToks are the only thing that get views. He said that everyone on YouTube sucked the fun out of him, and he said he didn't want to be on a platform where people think he's a piece of shit when he knows that he's not. Shane interviewed Maddie, Jeffrey's assistant, and she said that she stepped away for her own personal personal reasons, but because it was around the time of the cancellation, she'd said that she was blamed for leaving Jeffree for that very reason. But apparently that wasn't the case at all, although she did experience burnout by the sounds of things by simply being his assistant, because Jeffree's life was so hectic back then. Shane wanted to get to the bottom of why Jeffree was leaving YouTube, and he also wanted to expose their palette, because we still hadn't seen an in-depth review of their palette that never launched. People were convinced too that that palette was going to be released during the series, but it hasn't been. No more cash grabs from Shane and Jeffree. That's been a surprise for sure. Ryland explained that although Shane and Jeffree's old documentaries used to get 30 million plus views, Shane was always stressed and always unhappy. And the moment they moved to Colorado, it was a complete reset for them, and Shane has been happy ever since. Jeffree only had himself when he moved to Wyoming, whereas Shane and Ryland had each other. So towards the end of this last episode, Shane swapped lives with Jeffree for the day. Then they got real and discussed Jeffree's rise to fame, and lastly they talked about their unreleased palette that was going to be called Doomsday. Taylor Swift's concert is selling out fast. Fans who signed up for Ticketmaster's verified fan program thought that they'd have a chance to buy tickets early, but boy were they wrong. Rather, they were met with error messages and a massive queue that gave almost no info about where they were in line. And of course, the system was not accepting the ticket purchases. This is Taylor's first tour in 4 years, so fans are eager. People are even reselling tickets for up to 40 grand per ticket. On Friday, Taylor posted a 3-paragraph response to the ticket drama, and fans are having mixed reactions. Taylor said, "Well, it goes without saying that I'm extremely protective of my fans. We've been doing this for decades together, and over the years, I've brought so many elements of my career in-house. I've done this specifically to improve the quality of my fans' experience by doing it myself with my team who care as much about my fans as I do. It's really difficult for me to trust an outside entity with these relationships and loyalties, and excruciating for me to just watch mistakes happen with no recourse. There are a multitude of reasons why people had such a hard time trying to get tickets, and I'm trying to figure out how the situation can be improved moving forward. I'm not going to make excuses for anyone because we asked them multiple times if they could handle this kind of demand, and we were assured they could. It's truly amazing that 2.4 million people got tickets, but it really pisses me off that a lot of them feel like they went through several bear attacks to get them. And to those who didn't get tickets, all I can say is that my hope is to provide more opportunities for us to all get together and sing these songs. Thank you for wanting to be there. You have no idea how much that means." Obviously, not everyone was going to get tickets. However, Ticketmaster is now deemed as unreliable and is receiving backlash not only from Taylor, but from Taylor's fans. So what are your thoughts on all the tea spilled today? Let me know in the comments and don't forget to subscribe.